freaks. I call them 52 strongs. I'll be resting my cheeks right where my ass belongs. The crown is gonna rest upon the crown of my head. When I'm crowning the clouds, drowning the game in my sweat, I drown in the largest of crowds and waking up in my bed. I don't wanna dream the life, I guess I live it instead. What's going on YouTube? My name is Surreal. Welcome back to the channel where we keep it real. We're going to be switching it up a little bit this time. Not a music reaction. We're actually going to be checking out a death battle. We're going to be checking out, they got Miles Morales, the Spider-Man, and Static Shock from like the cartoon from like back in the early 2000s. It was one of my favorite cartoons actually. I thought Static Shock was super cool. So I'm super excited to check this out. Let me get the volume up. I don't know what's going on with my taskbar. Alright, so let's check it out. I'm super excited for this, guys. This is going to be a great matchup.
Hey Wiz, you know what time it is? Thanks to our sponsor, it's Miller time.
Alright, let's check it out.
Throughout the Earths of Marvel,
oh yeah, I forgot
comics,
they did the animations.
No, thousands of superheroes saving
so they got the
day.
cartoon, not because they used to just be their voices.
There were
so.
even more across the multiverse.
Oh great, as if we don't have enough to keep track of already.
Miles Morales, the Spider-Man of Marvel's Earth number 1610.
And Static, the electric genius from DC's Dakotaverse. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win
a
death battle.
I haven't watched a death battle in forever, so this takes me back. This is awesome.
At first glance, the world of Earth 1610 isn't so different from our own. But look closer and you'll find Coca Soda instead of Coca-Cola, PDNY officers instead of NYPD.
And a hamburger and fries can cost $30,000 goddamn dollars.
But perhaps the greatest difference in this so-called Ultimate Universe was that Peter Parker, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, was dead.
Oh
Enter
no.
Miles Morales. He was your typical kid from Brooklyn and didn't have much to worry about except his overbearing mom and dad. Hey kid, appreciate your folks while you have them. You never know when
I think I only watched this Spider-Man like once. So there's a lot of details I missed. So if I'm like, oh shoot, whatever, right? It's just because I forgot. Because it is a whole other like universe from the Spider-Man we know. So
they're gonna pull a surprise Uncle Ben.
Well, Miles spent most of his time with his more laid-back Uncle Aaron, who turned out to be a secret supercriminal.
Totally relatable.
Right,
anyway, during one of his heists into a secret lab, Aaron accidentally scooped up a spider. The next time Miles visited, the spider got loose and, you know what happens.
This spider carried the genetic enhancing Oz formula. Yet another.
It's such a weird like flip from like the original Spider-Man movies with what was it, Tobey Maguire, who like freaked out and stuff, and he's just like and just kills it.
Another attempt to recreate Captain America's infamous super soldier serum. It had previously transformed Peter Parker into the first Spider-Man.
Wait a minute, who came up with the idea to store the super serum in a freaking spider?
Scientists can be weird sometimes.
Facts.
Maybe next time put it in something that can't walk away. It's got 8 legs. That's like 4 times more walking power.
Sure. Either way, with his new powers, Miles donned red and black to become the ultimate Spider-Man.
As the newest spider lad on the block, he does whatever a spider can. He's super strong, super fast, and has the overpowered super radar, the Spider Sense.
After meeting Peter's Aunt May,
Okay, so camouflage. Was camouflage something that the original? I don't think the original Spider-Man had like a camouflage. Spider physiology, bioelectricity. Oh, okay, yeah. Web shooters, zoom and infrared. I don't think our Spider-Man had zoom and infrared vision.
Miles took up the classic web shooters, complete with multiple types of long to short range webbing.
Yet another tool that would be perfect for snagging a beer from the fridge without leaving the couch.
Oh my god.
He was a teenager.
Different universe, different drinking laws, right? And also, like Peter, he can stick to walls. You know, spider style.
Yes, like some spiders, Miles can control his body's interatomic attraction, essentially sticking to walls like a magnet. However, unlike Peter, this subatomic electron manipulation gave Miles a few extra moves of his own.
Okay.
Yeah, the kid's got electric powers. He can zap people with
Oh,
a
okay,
quick touch, fire off
Yeah,
massive explosions, and even turn invisible. Wait, what's that got to do with shocking people?
This Venom sting can even take out the Ultimate Universe's Electro, a being literally made of electricity.
What?
Miles didn't just shock him, he disrupted Electro's own charge. Similar to a miswiring sending too much electricity in one direction and shorting out your computer when somebody forgot to plug it into the surge protector.
Wiz, you know I don't believe in protection for anything. It's going in raw.
Oh my god. I love these guys. I miss this show.
Anyway, as the new Spider...
But, okay, so along the lines of the bioelectricity, I don't understand how that, like, relates to Spider-Man. But, I mean, I guess it is a different universe and stuff. But it is super cool that his electric powers was even able to discharge, like, Electro himself. And, but it also doesn't explain the invisibility, which isn't even, like, a spider thing typically. I think there's, like, maybe a couple spider species out there that can, like, change color. But I'm not sure. I don't know spiders like that, but...
Spider-Man,
Weird.
Miles obviously
Weird.
had a lot to live up to. After his Uncle Aaron died in front of him,
Ha! Told you somebody would pull a Ben!
Miles pushed past the heartache. He persisted, living up to Peter's ideals, and eventually stepped out of his shadow to be Spider-Man in a way only he could.
Oh yeah, what's up, Danger? He can blast apart a building-sized monster and survived being slammed around by the giant Cassie Lang. That's Ant-Man's daughter.
He's smart enough to hack
Oh.
military drones and quick enough to destroy an alien device in a microsecond. Essentially,
Wow.
he needed to open and close a portal.
Miles could also be compared to Miguel O'Hara, from Spider-Man 2099, who caught Mjolnir while it was moving at Mach 2000. Jesus.
Portal in an impossibly short time frame to prevent an alien force from invading. It's a long story.
Point is, he's super fast. With his spider sense, he can react to things before they even happen.
Okay, so because I know they don't always cover every single bullet point. So, stopped to train with webbing. Yeah, standard. Blew up the Venom symbol. Oh, blew it up. Okay. Knocked over giant-sized Cassie Lang. Dodged Electro's electric shocks. Survived hit from Kangaroo. Took a metal melting blast from... Wow. Undetected by Peter while camouflage. Okay. And defeated Electro. Okay, cool.
He's super tough too. He even
So he defeated the original Spider-Man from a different universe, but from the original Spider-Man, which I think they show that in the movie though.
survived being caught in this giant super collider exploding.
Measuring the size of this hole using real-world maps of New York and solving for fragmentation, we know this explosion must have been equivalent to about 222 tons of TNT.
That's
Sure,
crazy.
that's not technically canon to the comics, but guys, main series Spider-Man has done way crazier things. I mean, he has the same powers, and Miles has even beat the crap out of him. Classic Pete can bench
True.
press 130 tons, uses spider sense to dodge beams of light, and ripped apart Doc Ock's robo-arms, which once survived a 2-kiloton nuclear explosion. So I'd say the Super Collider feat checks out.
Unfortunately, Miles' electric powers can tire him out,
Yeah.
and his spider sense does not protect him automatically,
Well,
serving more as an
not
alarm
immune
or
to- okay.
proximity sensor.
But the youngins proved himself to be the best successor a Spider-Man could ever want, and more. He even got pulled into the main...
Can we just bring up the point that movie was so cool, like all the animations and everything they did. Like it was kind of funny with the different Spider-Mans that came through. Like even like the pig Spider-Man was kind of weird, but like overall those like the whole movie was really awesome.
Marvel timeline when they blew up the Ultimate Universe. Miles Morales is truly one of the greats.
Don't wash the mouth. Wash the hands.
And now we got Static.
Despite growing up in the most crime-filled neighborhood of Dakota City, Virgil Hawkins was a pretty chill guy.
He spent his time playing D&D, reading comics, you know, typical nerd stuff. But
Right.
he had one major problem, the classic sitcom bully. No teenage story is complete without it.
During school, he was frequently harassed by local gang leader Francis Stone.
Oh
Virgil's
yeah, I
only
remember this
refuge
guy.
was one of his-
Didn't this guy end up later getting like fire powers, because like, which would match with his fiery hair? But didn't he get like fire powers later?
few friends, Larry Wade.
Larry convinced Virgil there was only one way to get rid of Francis for good. Join his own gang and pack some heat. Things got, well, pretty intense, and Virgil wasn't having any of it. It was time to bail like DC Comics on their cinematic universe.
But the damage was already done. The police arrived and let loose a massive canister of what seemed to be tear gas, but wasn't.
Yeah, this grape-looking mist was actually some experimental shit.
yeah.
It was supposed to
I
tag
remember
each
this.
gang member so the cops could track them down later. But it was actually laced with radioactive quantum juice, which killed almost...
Quantum juice? Couldn't they think of something better to name that? I remember that scene though, the whole gang fight, and then the police came through the canisters, and everybody who was there ended up getting like crazy mutations, or they got some like crazy powers, like obviously Static Shock and the fire guy.
Almost everybody. I hate it when that happens.
Luckily, Virgil was one of the few who survived, but the quantum juice still had an effect.
You could say he was shocked to find out what it did.
Yes, he began to develop electromagnetic powers. Before this, Virgil always felt out of his league, but now he was in a league of his own and became the superhero Static.
So, prediction, it said in Miles' setup or breakdown or whatever that him and his equipment were still vulnerable to electricity and magnetics, and he has electromagnetism powers. Static does, so that could probably be like a strength to a weakness.
I put a shock to your system.
Hell yeah! With these new powers, the guy was unstoppable. He could blow shit up with electric bolts quick as lightning, make explosion balls called Nova Bombs, and taser people with punches to the face.
Right, but he's not just good at shocking people. Static can alter the electron attraction of any object or surface. He can erect extremely durable electromagnetic force fields that block most attacks. He can even move metal around like a hip young Magneto.
And slip metal
Like a
into
hip
his feet
young
to
Magneto.
take to the sky.
Except I think because Magneto was only good with ferromagnetism, so like iron, like your typical magnetic stuff. Like you put a magnet on a fridge, like that kind of magnetism. I think Static actually has control over all magnetism. So like any kind of magnetism, like gold and silver and stuff like that. But Magneto couldn't control like golds and silvers. That's how in the X-Men movie he had can't remember her name. The chameleon chick who could change what she looks like, had her inject one of the guards full of iron, like blood iron, and so when he came to check up on him, he pulled all the iron out of his blood and used the iron to do what he needed to. But he had magnetism over iron because it's ferromagnetic. Static, I think, has just all magnetism.
His favorite ride is the Static Saucer, a giant frisbee that doubles as a shield and buzzsaw. Think about it. Don't you wish your car could literally cut through traffic?
Obviously, turning superhuman overnight caught Virgil a bit off guard, but after a few speed bumps, he became a well-regarded superhero throughout the city of Dakota, even teaming up with fellow heroes like Icon and Rocket.
Icon and Rocket? Come on, where's Batman and Wonder Woman?
Oh, I should mention that while Static is part of the DC universe, he did not start there. See, Static was originally created by Milestone Comics, which eventually merged with DC. Their characters, including Static, existed in an alternate timeline known as the Dakotaverse. Then a guy named Dharma gained cosmic power and accidentally blew everything up, sending Static into the main DC timeline. It's really not too complicated.
Uh-huh.
I've actually been working on a device to peer into alternate timelines, but unfortunately it still needs...
Button!
Button!
Well now, old chap, what were we discussing but a moment ago?
Oh, shite, don't you know? Let's figure out who ought to win the fatality kerfuffle.
Yes, I'm mad as hops. Let's begin, my fellow Ultra Cupidarian.
I regret everything.
Oh, I'll do it again.
No! I'm sure that's fine.
Well, no
I'm
matter
sure
the
that's
universe,
fine.
Static was always one-upping himself. He learned how to see ultraviolet light and how to make people glow. Wait, what's
cool.
that got to do with shocking people?
That would be his ability to detect bioelectric auras. Static can also create power-draining plasma coils, disrupt the electrical impulses of others, and empower or heal himself by draining energy from outside sources.
That's
He
cool.
can literally reattach his severed arm with shock power. I'm not even
That's
joking.
crazy.
Look at
I
this.
didn't know that.
Since when could electricity do that?
I guess though in a lot of medias when it comes to like DC, Marvel, stuff like that, there's a lot more in the comics normally than there are in like movies or shows, primarily because a lot of their powers are kind of difficult. Maybe not now, but especially in like the early 2000s going into the 2010s a little bit, it was really hard to depict some of that stuff in CGI or to make it make sense in the story. So I guess it would make sense that I wouldn't have seen this, but that's crazy to me that he can like heal himself, like reattach severed limbs using electricity is wild.
Clearly, Static has a lot of power at his beck and call.
He can survive building-sized kabooms, lift hundreds of tons, and once turned this huge chunk of ice into slush in just a couple seconds.
Based on the size of the ice and the required change in temperature for such a feat, Static must have output energy equal to 180 tons of TNT.
That's
He's
crazy.
quick enough to intercept lasers confirmed to be beams of actual light, which is pretty darn fast.
And in the cartoon, he actually shoved some quantum juice in some lockers and launched them out of orbit. These are typical school lockers, which can weigh up to 30 pounds each.
And fit approximately one nerd.
To throw 3 of these into space, they need to be moving nearly 3,000 times faster than sound, requiring a throwing force equal to 4 kilotons of TNT.
Damn.
Jesus.
Okay, sure, that's not canon to the comics, but his electromagnetism could play tug of war with Superboy's telekinesis, which can lift 4 million tons. I'm not sure Static can go that far, but if he's anywhere close, it's still higher than throwing some lockers around.
That's
Though,
nuts.
despite Static's incredible power, insulators are his kryptonite, and he can
Yeah.
run out of juice if he pushes himself too much.
Makes
But
sense.
the guy's one of the coolest superheroes who rarely got his time to shine. Heck, he was good enough to join the Justice League. I think even
Oh,
Virgil
wow.
himself was shocked to see how cool he really was.
Because he was part of Teen Titans too, so it makes sense that he kind of did like the independent thing and got accepted into Teen Titans, and then when he became an adult, got accepted into the Justice League. So like it makes sense that he made that progress, but that's really cool. I didn't know that.
Alright, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
But first, all this talking has made me hungry for Blue Apron. Can help
Everyone
you.
sure.
20.
Flash beat.
Oof. It's a good thing I paused enough to be able to skip this ad. Alright. So now we're gonna be checking out the fight. It's my favorite part. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Oh.
Alright, so we got 2D characters in the 3D world. I like it. Let's go.
Watch where you're aiming. I got places to be tomorrow. For real?
I'm gonna turn it up a little bit if I can. I'm gonna turn it up. Sounds kind of quiet.
You attack me! Well, I got more than one electric psychopath to keep track of it.
Oof.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Meow. So they didn't even do like a fight or whatever at the beginning. They're just going at it.
Me? Getting zapped? What's up with that?
I call that the shoulder touch. And I call this my taser punch.
Uh oh, look out! Oof. He took out a whole chunk of that building.
Wait, what? Keep thinking, keep thinking. Stop thinking,
Oh shoot. Oh damn. Who do you think you are, Sonic?
Come on out, Spider Boy. Huh? No more flying pizza trays. Shoot, that was my ride. Okay, you've got surprises, but so do I.
Yeah, see his outfit's immune to the electromagnetic stuff. Yikes. Oh, damn. Took his arm off. But he can heal it. What the f- Oh no, and there goes web shooters.
You stupid. All I gotta do is... What? Plasma coil. If you hadn't noticed, this electric biz is kind of my thing.
Oh, damn. Jeez.
That was tough.
Damn.
Look,
He blew up Spider-Man. That was not. He was like, if you haven't noticed, this electric thing's kind of my biz.
looks like we're kicking off this year with a bang. Poor Miles, though.
Honestly, I'm surprised how this turned out. At first glance, Miles appeared to have a good chance at victory.
He was definitely physically stronger than Static. He would have totally won an arm wrestling contest.
But Virgil's overwhelming electric power put him at a level above the young Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. Overall, Static's feats were way above Spidey's.
So this is the thing that always got me with the death battles is they give like a breakdown that make it seem even, and then after the battle they're like, oh yeah, clearly one of them was a lot better because A, B, and C.
Even when we scaled Miles to classic Peter Parker's biggest feats, Static definitely...
While Miles' Venom Sting is super effective on genetically altered opponents like Virgil, it's a far less effective weapon compared to Static's own electric attacks. His impulse disruption ability was also more precise and could cover larger distances.
had the oomph to take Miles out, but Miles had no easy way to get around his force field.
The variety of techniques at Static's disposal also rent many of Spider-Man's abilities moot.
Like how
Right,
Spidey's
right.
invisibility didn't matter when Static could light him up like a Christmas tree, and his speed
Oh,
was
yeah,
so
that
similar
too.
to what the Spider Sense could give Miles that the super radar wasn't that big of a help. Remember, just because he knew an attack was coming didn't always mean he could dodge it in time.
And, well, shockingly, Static only needed to hit him once. See, his electromagnetic manipulation...
Many Spider-Men have had their electrostatic abilities such as wall crawling nullified by outside electromagnetic forces before, including the main series, Peter Parker. I think I remember that.
gave him control over Miles' wall crawling and other abilities. As soon as he got a hold of Miles' bioelectric aura, it was basically all over.
But hey, Miles and all the other Spider-Men fight Electro all the time, and they have no problem dealing with him. Why was Static any different?
Simply put, every iteration of Electro pales in comparison.
Electro's greatest feat, blowing up a prison rift, is equivalent to 160 tons of TNT at most. He also loses many fights due to simply being outsmarted. Yeah.
He has no feats of power that come even close to Static, and frankly, he's an idiot. This was a fascinating matchup, but... Oh no, not again!
Yay! Mr. Morales put up a jolly good show, and yet Mr. Hawkins had him outdone in breathtaking power, stalwart defense, and veritable versatility.
Oh, he was just miles ahead of him, don't you know?
The victor
Don't you know?
is Static.
Hey, thanks for checking out the...
That was awesome. That was cool. I really like that fight, like the because I seen that it was Miles versus Static, and immediately I was like, oh man, that's gonna be a good fight. That was so awesome. I'm gonna have to keep doing more of these. Let me know down in the comments if you want me to do more of these death battle reactions. and I'll try and bring those out as well as the music reactions while I do them. But let me know what you think. I had a lot of fun with this one. It was cool learning some of the stuff I didn't know, especially because Miles is different from like the standard, like our normal Spider-Man. So it was cool to learn a little bit more more about him. And then the same with Static. Like there was a lot of stuff I didn't know about him, and that was one of my favorite shows on TV growing up. Like I didn't know he could heal himself with electricity even if he lost a limb. Blew my mind. But this fight was really cool. If you want me to, I might even do some of the older death battles. I've seen most of them, but I might check out some of the older ones if you want me to. Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and that notification bell so you can keep up to date with all these videos I'm coming out with. And if there's anything else you want me to react to, let me know down in the comments. This is my first time doing something that's not music, so if you have anything else, I was thinking about doing battle rap reactions too, because I know we've got a new season coming out of URL, so I was looking at those. I think what was it, Shotty Horror and John the Don just came out a couple days ago. I was about to watch that, but I might do it as a reaction instead. But let me know what you guys want me to do, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.
Woo! I don't wanna play girl, but I wanna see your angles live. I thought this would have been a long shot, now we get close-ups of your eyes. The Pembex cakes in the morning smelling, zoom to my surprise. It's written the women flipping the kitchen, but listening wishing I was cooking by her side. Cut, it's the end of the night, crossfade, half brown and now half green. Let me set the scene, flashback to the glow of an old flat TV screen. Cause even getting high, she's got all her eyes on me. I director, sound effects, my POV of my BAE. Wait, I've been getting deeper to the meaning of what this is. This visual's critical, I don't think I have experienced this kind of bliss. Unthinkable, this must be criminal.